each other. Larry Sharpe has traveled the country and has personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, so happy. Larry Sharpe here, Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty. So happy to have you here with our multiple stations. Of course, WYSL Rochester, New York, but also I want to welcome WLEA and WCKR in Hornell, New York. Growing and growing as we are all across Western New York. I'm here. And if you want to call to bug me, you can. 585-346-3000 is the number after the first break. Look, I want to start with something that's going to seem a little bit awkward, but you're going to see how I get to the right spot. What happened recently in New York State with this election from last year reminded me of a story in my business life, I should say, years ago. If you've been listening, you know that I'm a business consultant by day and then crazy libertarian activist by night. But no, I am. It's how I pay my bills, of course. And years ago, I had to go into a company and help reorganize a sales force. So the CEO brings me in, we start doing this, we start fixing what I have to fix. I'm doing the things that I think are right. People seem to be pretty happy, getting paid a nice amount of money. I'm happy that the paychecks come in. Life seems pretty good. And then the CEO leaves. He leaves. Well, he was my connection. He was the guy making sure I got done what I wanted to get done. He was the guy who loved what I was doing. He was the guy who was making sure I was getting paid. That was kind of important too. I was a consultant. New CEO. And I'm worried. Ouch. What's going to happen now? Is the new CEO going to like me like the old one did? No. Not because he didn't like me. He did like me. But I wasn't the priority. He thought the old CEO didn't have the right priorities. That's why they had a new CEO. Obviously, the board agreed with that. And that's why they wanted a new CEO. All of a sudden, I found my money dried up. All of a sudden, I had to go find some other place to make some cash. So I had to leave all of a sudden. You might say, why in the world did that story come up in your head after the elections? Well, if you know, I've been talking about how New York State has been planning to fix its budget issues for years. What's been the plan? And you might say, well, Larry, New York State has to bring back manufacturing, or New York State has to start bringing back people and stop people from leaving. Well, that would logically make sense, but that wasn't the plan. The plan was checks from Uncle Joe. That had always been the plan. Checks from Uncle Joe. And then Uncle Joe all of a sudden couldn't be president anymore because I guess his people said no or whatever. And now they had to bring in Mamala. Auntie Kamala had to come in. Well, what was New York's new plan? Checks from Auntie Kamala. Mama's going to hook us up and keep giving us big checks. And we don't have to run anything. We can be a terrible state with terrible ideas and terrible plans. Doesn't matter because Mamala is going to write us checks. That changed last Tuesday, didn't it? All of a sudden, we realize next January, no Uncle Joe, no Mamala. Now we got me, no Uncle Don, who's really mad at us right now. I don't think those checks are coming anymore. And I go, Larry, come on, you're kidding me. It can't be that bad. Oh yeah, it could be. And the worst part is our leadership put every single bit that they possibly could into keeping either Uncle Joe or Auntie Kamala in place so they can keep getting paid. And they put every single bit of their political capital into it. And it didn't work. So now what are we going to do? I know you're saying to yourself, Larry, these are reasonable people, savvy people. They've realized they've made an error. They are now going to take their loss, rethink, do some introspection, and have a smart, savvy way of coming together with a new, leadership. Of course not. They would never do that. That would no, of course not. They're doubling down. So, of course, what did our governor do? Now, this is insanity. She literally says, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am upset. And because Trump won, I'm upset. And because Trump won, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, I'm not joking, the Empire State Freedom Initiative Task Force. Yes, I feel safer already. I know you do. So there's been an election, a Republican won, and the response is the Empire State Freedom Initiative Task Force. Now, what is this task force supposed to do? You might go, wait a minute, it's going to make us freer, right? No. Its job is to protect us from threats from the Trump administration. Now, I wish I had made that up. I didn't. That came directly from Kathy Hochul's mouth. Yes, threats from the Trump administration, her words. She said, we should expect the worst. Yes. She spent the last months calling him the H-man. I'm also on YouTube, so I don't get in trouble. You know, the Austrian guy with the funny mustache who took over Germany in the 30s and 40s. That guy. Called him that guy. Called all of his followers N-words. Not that N-word. The other one, also from Germany in the 30s and 40s. That N-word. Called them all N-words. The whole deal. And now says we have to have a task force to make sure we can defend against threats from against him. And then out of the same mouth, 5 minutes later, we're going to do whatever we can to support the transition. What? What? That doesn't make any sense. But that's what we're going to do. Then, after calling him and all his followers that name and saying openly, if you vote for Republican, you are anti-woman and anti-American. Saying all of that, creating the task force that is just to stop the evil Trump administration and all the threats that are coming from it, all the coming. And by the way, she listed them. She listed them. Reproductive rights. Impossible to be affected in New York State. We just passed Prop 1, which makes it even crazier. Impossible. Civil rights. Like, that's a problem in New York State. That's a problem. I don't know where that is in New York State. Not happening. Right? Gun safety. We have more gun laws in New York State than any place else. We're blatantly unconstitutional. We've had judges say in court, the Second Amendment does not apply in my courtroom and not be punished. I don't know where that's coming from. Labor rights. We are the most unionized state in the entire union. I don't know where that's coming from. LGBTQ rights. I guess gay people are being killed across the United States or something. Nope, not a problem either. None of those are problems. The only one she brought up was, that is a problem, immigration. Immigration. That's the thing we're screwing up badly. That's the one we're messing up badly. We should let that one go. So let them do something with that one. We screwed that up. All the rest we got down like there's no tomorrow. So with all of this, listing all of these, she then said, well, on top of this, Trump needs to make sure he keeps funding our manufacturing. I'm not joking. And funding our MTA. Yeah. So I'm going to literally call you one of the evilest men in history. Call all of your followers N-words, the German one, that N-word. I'm going to call all your followers that N-word. And everyone who voted for you, They're all anti-American. By the way, could I have some money? Could I have some money, by the way? This is where we are in New York State. Now, you might say, that's pretty bad, Larry. Oh, no. There's worse. The AG James, she says, we're not going to stop fighting. She's going to push on all her cases against Trump. She's going to push on all her civil cases against Trump. She still wants him to go to prison. She's saying it. Then she says, we're ready to support the president as need be. Why? Many of you don't know this. Because, of course, the federal government helps provide money for our law enforcement. She still wants the cash. So she's going to say, hey, Trump, you're a bad guy. I'm going to try to take all your money away. I'm going to try to put you in jail. I can't stand you. Have some money? Could you give me some more money? We don't have a plan. Uncle Joe was supposed to bail us out, and he's gone now. We don't have any money. So you're evil. You're the H-man. We're going to put you in jail. We're going to try to take all your money. And could we have a check? We need some money. It is crazy. I said, well, Larry, that's all pretty crazy. Yeah, I got one more for you. My mayor, New York City, Eric Adams. He's all of a sudden a Trump fan. Why? Because Adams is looking at federal charges. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Trump knows what it is to have charges. He knows what it means to catch a case. He gets that. Well, Adams now knows too, very well. And Adams knows something else. If Trump comes in, and Trump has praised, Adams for some of the things he said, and he has said that Adams is being persecuted just like he is. What Trump has to do is replace Williams as the attorney, the prosecutor, and that case against Adams might fall apart. Adams might be wearing the MAGA hat next week. You might see New York City mayor wearing the MAGA hat. It could happen. Is this nuts? Is it me? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of Liberty Network. And of course, welcoming our new stations, WLEA and WCKR out of Hornell, back with your calls. And of course, your chat. I see you online after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
Dion, you see this most likable spokesperson poll?
Really? I might know somebody. Oh, we're looking forward to this today, aren't we?
Seriously, guys? We're a team. We're not competing against each other.
Ooh, who's a good spokesperson?
2 puppies? I did not expect that from you.
Ooh, one of them's for you. Oh, there you go. Ooh, who's a good spokesperson? Yes, go to West Her. Oh.
Welcome to West Her, New York.
Hi, my name is Evan Spindleman, founder and owner of Flood Broker. Flood insurance premiums are skyrocketing, and if you have to have flood insurance coverage to secure your mortgage, you owe it to yourself to call me to see how I can save you money on your flood insurance premium. The insurance programs I use are bank accepted and will satisfy your loan requirement. Please give me a call at 585-736-4366 today to get a free no-obligation quote. That's 585-736-4366. Call today.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on the Voice of Liberty, WYSL Rochester, New York, WLEA and WCKR Cornell, New York. 585-346-3000 is the number to give me a buzz if you want to. Now, look, I know you might think what I said was funny, and it kind of is. But do you see where we are in our state? We have not been able in any way to fight through this to where we actually have a state that starts making more money. The problem is our state makes money only through government putting money into the state, not through more and more people jumping in and building businesses, not through more and more people coming in and trying to build their own businesses in this state. So now when we have someone who is unfriendly in the White House, we're scared. And this is why you're hearing our governor, our Queen Cathy, the first of her name, complain and now create this task force. Why? Because when we can't grow, when we can't make things happen, when the money dries up, she will look at these 7 or 8 things she's mentioned, say how bad they are, and then say, that's the reason. See, that's the reason. What's going to happen here is when things fail, well, it's because he's an ist or a phobe. That's the reason. If Trump wasn't an ist or a phobe, we'd be fine. But he's clearly all of them, and now we're all screwed. It's his fault. She has said openly, anticipate the worst. This is the one thing that so many people who are Democratic leadership, I should say, weren't that unhappy that Trump won. Because now everything that goes bad because of their terrible leadership, they'll just blame Trump. See? Everyone's leaving New York State. It's because Trump. It's not that we've been terrible for the past 30 years. No, it's not that. I mean, there's data that shows that's true, and we've been terrible. But right now, Trump is president, so it's because Trump. And sadly, in New York State, many of us will believe it. And that's the second piece. As cute as it was that I said, a little story, there's something else that popped up here. Trump still lost this state by 12 points. Still lost this state by 12 points. Made lots of gains, no doubt, lots of gains, but still lost by 12 points. And the state's still worse off than it's been and will keep getting worse because we have the same leadership at the top of our state. So is this all of a sudden now going to become a red state? No, it isn't a red state. It's still a deeply blue state. It is still a deeply blue state. And boy, is that frustrating sometimes. Because I can joke here and tell you all the things I want to tell you and show you how bad the system is and show you how terrible our leadership is. But it's just so bad that so many people who would vote against the Hochul administration are packing up and leaving. And they're heading down to Florida, or they're heading to North Carolina, or they're heading to Tennessee, or North Carolina. They're leaving like there's no tomorrow. Because for many of them, they can't survive. I'll never forget my mother when she retired. She couldn't stay in New York. She retired in South Carolina because she couldn't stay here. And we lost so much of that, right? Lost so much of that in our state. It's very disappointing. Let me grab a couple comments from line if I could. John believes it, what I believe. He says, elections in New York just proved we are as blue as ever in the House of Reps and more on the local legislature. People still, and you know, I'm going to tell you this. You see it in other states too, John. Arizona, North Carolina, and many others. Top of the ticket, Trump wins, bottom of the ticket, middle of the ticket, Republican loses. This was a Trump phenomenon more than it was a Republican phenomenon. That makes any sense. It was much more of a Trump versus Republicans. Now, don't get me wrong, Republicans got a massive boom because of this. Of course they did. Not taking anything away from that. But I think you're right. At the core of this, it was a Trump phenomenon more than a Republican phenomenon. I think you're right. John goes on to say, Prop 1 passed with flying colors as expected. Of course, they had to mislead and misdirect everyone about its real intentions. This piece I want to bring up too. John, you remember, I'm sure you were watching or listening then. I did a show on Prop 1. And people were bugging me. They were saying, you got to do more shows on it. You got to talk more about Prop 1. And I was very forward. I said, it doesn't matter. It's going to pass. I voted against it. I did. I did my virtual signal vote, which is what it was. It was virtual signaling. It was going to pass. There was no way it wouldn't. Michael, but Larry, it's a bad this, a bad that. Doesn't matter. New York State is deep blue. Just being called the equal rights anything. It could have literally been a bill that would, if you had gray hair, you got to get kicked in the shin every Tuesday. They'd have still passed it. It's called equal opportunity. Okay, the bill makes you kick people in the shin every Thursday if they have gray hair. Yeah, but it's equal rights. Done and done. So sadly, that's true. And that reinforces the point. This is a deep blue state still. We have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. I'm glad you brought that up. I appreciate that. Fred brings up an important piece. Trump wants a national reciprocal concealed carry law for all states. Jokel, or be nice, Her Majesty, will have a fit over that. Yes, that will be a battle within New York State. That's what she means, by the way, with her task force. They're going to come up with laws and rules to get around that somehow. They'll say, yes, you can be reciprocal if you got your concealed carry permit on February 31st. Then you could have it. Otherwise, no. If your name happens to be Kathy Hochul and you're a woman born in Western New York, then you get to have a concealed carry. Otherwise, you don't. She'll do something like that. That's her entire goal. You remember, Fred, when the Supreme Court said New York State's Second Amendment laws are unconstitutional, Her Majesty said, I am the law. I am the state. Take 10 more laws. Again, I wish I was joking. Literally, right after the Supreme Court said, your law is unconstitutional, she said, we're going to give you 10 more. And we're going to make stuff up. We're going to make illegal stuff illegaler just so I can say I passed the law against you. And it worked. And there's a guy named Dexter Taylor from Brooklyn who is now in jail from one of those 10 laws. And that judge, in his trial, literally told the jury, I'm not joking, the Second Amendment does not exist in my courtroom. Yep. In New York State, the Bill of Rights is the Bill of Suggestions, not Bill of Rights. I know, Fred, you're like, wait a minute. I thought we have rights. This is New York. You have some privileges that the government can give and take as they see fit. It is not the Bill of Rights. It's the Bill of Suggestions. You might get them. You might not. Don't get uppity. Don't get uppity, Fred. You might get them. You might not. That's all I'm saying. So, am I teasing, though, when I say someone like Eric Adams might become MAGA? I'm actually not. It's funny, right? It's joking, funny. But Eric Adams wants to be mayor. Clearly, he likes being mayor. He didn't drop out. He's not stopping. He's ready to go. He might be a Republican next week. You never know. Tell me what you think. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe, here on Sharpe Way Radio, on the Voice of Liberty. back with your calls in the chat after the break.
Soros Free Talk Radio.
WYSL.
Avon, Rochester. WLEA, WCKR FM, Cornell.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for today. We'll see morning clouds out there, chance for a sprinkle or a flurry, and we'll see some clearing in the afternoon. The winds will subside with a cool day in the 40s. Tonight, partly cloudy, frosty, cold in the 20s and 30s. On Wednesday, mostly sunny in the 40s. On Thursday, increasing clouds with a shower or two late in the afternoon. I'm Rich Cadilia with the Voice of Liberty.
Temperatures might be falling, but the deals are hot as ever at Victor Chevrolet, the new leader for Chevy in Rochester, Canandaigua, and Fairport. Check out these great lease specials. Go anywhere on the road or off in your new 2024 Chevy Silverado LT Crew Cab. Just $349 a month for 27 months. And the 2024 Chevy Equinox LT all-wheel drive, only $229 a month for 27 months. Or how about a 2024 Chevy Trailblazer LT all-wheel drive, only $199 a month for 27 months. These specials require Tier 1 credit approval and current lease and household. Mileage allowance 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents each additional mile, $2,500 cash or trade equity plus first payment and DMV fees required at closing. Get more details at dealer. And don't forget, Victor Chevrolet also has an unbeatable pre-owned selection. Whenever
I'm sorry.
Driving, you can trust it to our Chevy certified service department. Come see how easy it is.
Sorry,
to do
Out, I
business
have
with
it.
us. Victor Chevrolet.
Peter Vasquez is on vacation in Miami. I had to unmute him during the break so we could hear the music. I forgot that you don't need that.
Feel those dropping temps? I invite you to do what we do here at WYSL. Slash your heating costs this season with Aaron Moore infrared zone heaters. They can save you big compared to just using your furnace. It's how we stay comfy here at Radio Ranch. Aaron Moore heats healthier. No burning of oxygen and particulates to dry out your nose and skin. You get even quiet heat that fills rooms with warmth, not dust and blower noise. Aaron Moore heaters are completely safe. No hot surfaces or heating elements to pose shock or fire hazards, plus complete safety for children and pets. For a limited time, save $30 on either size Aaron Moore, and either the Comfort Deluxe size or the Compact Comfort Buddy for smaller areas. Specify discount code WYSL in your shopping cart. Free shipping in the continental U.S., and you'll never have to replace any bulbs because of Aaron Moore copper PTC technology. Maintenance-free Aaron Moore infrared zone heaters are the way to really save on heating bills. Call 800-707-8725 or visit air-more.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Tasker, and I want to share some great news. Heritage Christian Services is growing and hiring people to work alongside adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Over the years, my wife Sarah and I have supported Heritage Christian Services and the work that they do to advance an inclusive and equitable community. Their staff provides compassionate and dignified support every day as they enable others to achieve the things that matter the most to them. You'll find a rewarding job that works with your schedule, offers extra pay when you work weekends and overnights, and makes our community better. No experience is necessary to start in a direct support role either. Plus, Heritage Christian Services employees enjoy incredible benefits, including paid vacation, sick leave, health insurance, retirement plans, performance bonuses, and more. Staff members even have access to free success coaching to help them navigate personal challenges so they can feel their best at work. Join the Heritage Christian Services team today. Visit directsupport.org. That's directsupport.org.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
Be sure to come see celebrity chef Ann Burrell at Batavia Downs on Saturday, November 24th. Ann will be hosting a cooking demonstration inside the Park Place Event Center at 3 p.m. Ticket packages that include meet and greets and dinner are available. Get tickets and details now at BataviaConcerts.com. Don't miss this event. Come dine, play, and stay at Batavia Downs.
Batavia Downs with more. Great gaming. Batavia Downs with more. Lots more.
Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten Free Bakery has a great deal on Tuesdays. A large 4-topping pizza for $18, regular or gluten-free. Call 226-9575. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten Free Bakery in Avon.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty. WYSL, Rochester, New York, WLEA, and WLCKR, Cornell, New York. So happy to have you guys with me. The number to call, 585-346-3000. But before the break, I was kind of joking about the problems that we're having in New York a little bit and how people are trying to fight back. But they're not actually trying to fight back. Even though I would probably disagree with many things that Kathy Hochul will do, I would have more respect for her if she was actually trying to fix things. But she's not. She is overseeing our slow decay and trying to blame others. As much as I disagree with someone like a Bernie Sanders, I respect him more because he's actually trying to push his agenda. He's actually trying to fix things. I think he's wrong, but at least he's saying, no, I want to do the things and fix the things. He's not saying the number one thing in the world is civil rights in New York State. That's not number one in New York State. Now, maybe in other states that's true. I don't know. I don't live in other states. I live in New York State. Civil rights? No. LGBTQ? What are you kidding me? Reproductive rights? That's your number one issue? Not even close. Silly. It's actually embarrassing how bad that is. All she wants to do, all the Democrats and state want to do, is watch our decay and blame somebody else. Horrible. Absolutely terrible. And they keep doing it, and they keep doing it. Let me grab some comments if I could. Michael Sanchez says, hi, Larry, a little late. Wondering what you think of Elon calling out for Ron Paul to join Trump's team. Well, I think you're seeing some of the issues I mentioned already. The Republican Party now, and I'll cover New York and then across the country. The Republican Party now in New York has a boom, of course, of cash and elation, but the state's not going to change. It will sadly probably peter out. The country's different, though. If the country does something differently, New York may be able to change because of that. And this is the point. The Republican Party is becoming, or kind of already has become, the party of not Democrats. Now, that's good and bad. Good in that the tent is open, and that's great. Why tent? Lots of people come in. Lots of people voting for Republicans. I shouldn't say that. Voting for Trump. Not as many voting for Republicans, but voting for Trump for sure. Republicans gain some of that. Can the Republican Party become that party? Their establishment still does not want it, right? The establishment Republicans, they still hate Trump, right? They don't want that. They want to go back to when it was like Bush and Cheney. They want that to be the Republican Party. The question is, can the party adapt to taking this massive influx of people who think all different things, who care about different things, right? Ron Paul's about as libertarian as they get. Elon used to be a Bernie supporter. Both of them want to join Trump's team. That's hard. It's not easy. What do I think of it? I love the idea. I'm a libertarian. Of course I want Ron Paul in. I'm just being realistic, Michael. This is not an easy task when you see all the people around who be like, no, we don't want him. He's not establishment enough. When you see that happening, there may be some issues or concerns. So yes. Gene asks, will New York City's mayor become a MAGA convert? I don't think MAGA. I'm kind of teasing with that. But he has, look, Gene, if you were maybe going to go to jail, or maybe someone you love, even more importantly for you, because I know you, someone you love is going to go to jail. And the way to stop that is become Kathy Hochul's best buddy. You might become Kathy Hochul's best buddy. I would. If my daughter's getting ready to go to jail and Kathy Hochul can partner, all hail the queen. She is my new bestie. Her and I are going to be doing hot yoga together. Absolutely. And I think maybe Evans might want to walk down that road because he could be looking at some time. That's what I'm saying. Mike, how are you, sir? Mike says, the left is trying to create fear to collect money and kill momentum before 2025. Watch as Dems claim America is in recession in 2025, though we have been since August of 2022. Yes, yes, and yes. I see no lies detected. This is absolutely true. And to be forward, right? If I was advising Democrats and I knew they had no plan and don't want to fix anything, this is the right plan. As terrible as it is, Mike, it's still the right plan, right? Let everybody know the H-man Trump and all his M-words are going to take over the entire world. So give me money so I can stop them, right? Give me your money. Otherwise, they're going to make camps and put you in them, clearly. And we got to stop them from taking over in 2025. So give me money so I can stop that. And the second I hear bad news, I'll blame Trump. There we go. Anything bad happens, Trump did it. Your car broke down last week? Trump. His fault. Broke your car down. I agree completely. That is what I would do. That is what I would do. Roy says, Trump serving from prison would be a logistical nightmare for the Secret Service. House arrest would work, but he'll claim his election was a mandate to drop all charges against him. I'm going to be very forward with you, Roy. All his charges are basically dropped. Just being forward. They're basically dropped. His victory ended all of that. She can try, and be very clear. AG knows this. The world knows this, but she must virtue signal. Remember, that's the key. She must virtue signal. There is no way that Trump's going to jail. Not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. There's not going to be a house arrest. Nothing. There'll be something symbolic or nothing. Like, you're guilty, but we'll talk after you're not president anymore or something. That's all there'll be. And I'm happy to bet money on that. It's not going to happen. It's over. It'll be something symbolic, if anything. His victory got rid of it all. It's done. It's just symbolic. The problem is, so many people like James have put so much on this. They've got to do something. That's why I think they're going to talk it, scream and yell, whatever. So, John was going to say, your prediction about Lee Zeldin came true finally. He cashed in on his grifting, and is now Trump's environmental secretary. Look, nothing but props to Zeldin. He went from perhaps losing his seat in Long Island to now being environmental secretary. I mean, it worked. I mean, yes, I called it. I called it back in 2022. I told everybody it was going to happen. I predicted 2 years ago what was going to happen. And I was exactly right the entire way through. And nobody cared. But yes, it's exactly what happened. Yes, 100%. John says, Larry, it could be worse. We could be a cute little online celebrity squirrel. Valid point. We could be that. And then New York could kick our door in, search our house, take us, and then euthanize us. Accurate. Yes. Peace Logic says, Larry, are you moving to Florida? Are you the last cool one left? Look, if you listen to me often, you know that I live in New York City. I'm trying to fight the good fight here. I do shows outside of the city. I do, presentations outside the city. I do podcasts all across the country whenever I can. I'm trying to push this narrative.
Mike, Rochester.
And the last part that I push on this is the center. This is the front line. If we hold them here, we hold them everywhere. So I'm not leaving yet. And if I go, probably New Hampshire, if I go. But I'm still here right now. Let me grab a call if I could. I have Mike from Rochester. How are you, sir?
Larry, hey, pretty good. I was just wondering your take on Queen Hochul, the first of her name speech last week.
The one when she talked about Trump?
Well, the veil threat, her and Letitia there,
yes.
it sounded it was more not just Trump, but all New Yorkers.
Well, you know she's mad. I mean, she's the queen. How dare you defy her, Mike? How dare you? You can't defy her. She's the queen. So, of course, she's mad. But the point is, how do you go back? And that was what I mentioned earlier, right? If you go a week before that, she, again, literally said, if you vote Republican, you are anti-American. Her words, not mine. Go back 2 years ago from that, and she said, if you're a conservative, get on a bus and go to Florida. Again, her words, not mine. If she says that, and now he wins, how do you get back from that? She's walked down a road. She's called him the H-man. She's called all his followers N-words. Again, the German N-word, that one. She's called them all of them. How do you go back from that, Mike? You can't, can you?
I don't think so. But do you think she's afraid of being investigated herself?
No, not at all. She is immune. She owns these courts. She owns these judges. She is utterly immune. She has no concern whatsoever. None. Absolutely none. She's not concerned about that at all. She wants to make sure she can stay governor. The problem is she's a very unpopular governor. She doesn't have any new ideas. Her ideas are the same. Government money to make things work. Well, Uncle Joe's gone now. That money may not be coming. So she has a problem. New York State's going to struggle. All that CHIPS money that she was planning on putting Micron up here, that may begin to walk away too. We don't know what's going to happen now. As that becomes a problem, she has to have someone to blame. It can't be her. So she will absolutely blame Trump, and she may start blaming Adams. And if she starts blaming Adams, Adams is going to jump right into the arms of Trump. So that's her concern. Her concern is if things get so bad that she's going to lose her primary or that she gets primaried. She doesn't want to be primaried. That is her concern. And worse concern is if James turns on her. I don't think James will, but if James turns on her, she's in trouble. Does that make sense, Mike?
That certainly makes sense.
All right. Thank you for the call, my friend.
All right.
So, yeah, I really do think that she's concerned. If you were her, you'd be concerned too. You're in charge of New York. You got a great gig here. You're making tons of money for both you and your husband. You grift all day long and do almost no real work. And no one gets mad at you, who matters. Only the pleb Republicans who you want to throw out get mad at you. It's a good deal. All of a sudden now, I might lose it. I might start getting desperate too. Just saying. Am I nuts? You can tell me. 585-346-3000. Sharpe Way Radio here on the Voice of Liberty. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
I'm Greece Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Joe Robach. If you're looking to market and grow your business, make new business connections, and give back to the community in a meaningful way, consider joining the Greece Regional Chamber. We are the largest suburban chamber in Monroe County, and we offer networking, education, marketing, insurance, and advocacy. You do not need to live or work in Greece to join. Our members come from throughout the region. In short, we are better together, and together we can move your business forward. Visit greecechamber.org or call 585-227-7272 to join today. You'll be glad you did.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply.
Roger from Nassau.
Here for your hunting needs. With changes in New York State laws, they'll work with you to fulfill your needs. Open from 10 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday, Avon Gun. East Main Street, next to Tompkins Community Bank.
Hey, this is Stryker that calls into WYSL's PCP Boys. I'd love to have you come listen to my podcast, Just an Old Guy with a Mic. If you like the content of WYSL, I think you'll like my podcast, Just an Old Guy with a Mic, on Podbean, Spotify, and Amazon podcast apps.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes. Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio. So happy to give me a small chunk of your afternoon here on the Voice of Liberty, WYSL, Rochester, New York, and newly stations, WLEA and WCKR, Cornell, New York. I've been chatting a lot about what's going to happen with New York and how we don't have a plan and the money's going to be drying up here real soon. And a lot of people are worried. I get it. But it was bad anyway. We still have to try to fix this state. I stay here because I think it is repairable. I haven't given up yet. And if we can stop them here, we can stop them anywhere. And that's the key. We can stop them anywhere. Let me grab a call if I could. Roger from Nassau, how are you?
All right, Larry.
What's going on?
Can you hear me? Okay.
I can.
This probably plays hand in hand with why the governor is going back to congestion pricing. She was hoping Trump loses and she could keep asking money from the federal government. Now that the spigot will get cut off, she's looking for money elsewhere to finance infrastructure. Like I said, has the New York Public Banking Act, if our taxes already paid and continue to pay for it, stop charging us out-of-pocket expense, public bank will raise the revenue to pay for infrastructure. Do what we told you and tax the rich. Matter of fact, better yet, tax high-risk, predatory, speculative behavior that happens on Wall Street. 2, Adams is feeling the heat now that Democrats are gunning for his position since the primary is in 7 months. I saw one of those Cash Jordan infamous videos. He's beginning to put migrants on buses and sending them to Illinois, Connecticut, and back to Texas, as well as ending the EBT debit card in free housing program. 3, do you know what happened in California? Because you spoke about ballot initiatives.
Tell me.
They did not, the voters of California chose to keep the loophole for the 13th Amendment open and continue to use involuntary servitude, aka slavery, prison labor. So it looks like Alabama, Louisiana, Tennessee, Nebraska out-Quakered California because they closed that loophole. They made it unconstitutional to have prison labor.
I love that. All right, so let me grab a couple things you brought up. Okay. Number 1, I am open 100% to a public bank. I think we need a new way of raising money for local people, for local credit unions, for local businesses, to re-support our communities. 100% on board. I think without question, she's going back to congestion pricing because she's desperate, which is just going to hurt. But you and I both know you can't tax Wall Street that way. Cuomo tried it. The second he tried to tax Wall Street, they threatened to pack up and go to Miami. And they were going to. They also threatened to pack up once to go to Austin, Texas. And they were going to. You hammer Wall Street too bad in New York State right now, New York State will pack up and leave. You see them doing it already. The finance first ran to San Francisco to follow tech. Now you find a bunch of finance now in Miami and Austin. And New York State is far too broken to lose that. Even Cuomo knew that. New York State has lost tens of billions of dollars in revenue just from migration. And that's according to the IRS. So taxing the rich will only work nationally, if it works at all. It will not work statewide. It will fail. We've watched it happen. We're seeing people leave New York State. Again, tens of billions. California, tens of billions of dollars. They just moved to Texas or Florida or Tennessee. Nashville's exploding with people who are leaving because those three states all have low interest rates. I'm sorry, no income tax. So that part can't work, brother. The rest, I'm good. I can't see that one.
So here's the thing. North Dakota doesn't have a Wall Street and all that different type of stuff, but they do have a public bank, and they always operate in surplus mode. So
let's start this. Let's start the public bank. Let's get our communities rocking and rolling. Let's focus on local businesses, to include local co-ops, and to include co-op banking, to include, credit unions. Let's do all of that. Then talk about what you're talking about.
Okay, I could. You know what? I can rock with that. Anyway,
there we
any
go.
way to do it.
There we go. Absolutely. All right, my friend. Thanks for the call. Yes, absolutely. Sassy says, Larry, I've thrown your name out several times for press secretary. Would that be fun? Could you imagine if I was press secretary? That would be awesome. I love that. Roger, who just called in, also says he's a socialist fighting right alongside these Democrats, Larry, to make us a citizen ballot initiative state for amendments. I agree. Look, to be forward, I will take any and all allies to change this system. Any and all allies to change this system. 100%. The problem is we're all broken up, and the Democrats take advantage of that. That's the issue. They take advantage of that. So yes. Anyway, Peace Logic is teasing me. He says, you need more red light tickets. Sadly, that's also going to happen. Again, at one point in New York State, people won't take any more taxation. That's true. At one point, they go, stop. How do you fix that? Well, fines and fees. That's how. Fines and fees. It's that way. Much easier. It is much easier to fix things that way. Yes. So, Gene says, will Trump be able to pardon himself once he takes office? To be clear, that hasn't been 100% decided. I don't think he'll have to, but I think he would. And then the courts will decide if that's real or not. And they have been wishy-washy, but they've been leaning towards, yes. I think we'll see. That's what I'm saying. I think we'll see. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for giving me a chunk of your afternoon. I will be back on, as always, on the internet. I will see you all very soon.
I will